Happy Fragrant Friday, Fraghead. Hey everybody, this is Ben here at That Cologne Guy, signing off, if you can believe it or not. After 6 years, I won't say long years because they have not been, I've actually thoroughly enjoyed reviewing every single fragrance that I have reviewed over the last 6 years. Oh, what a ride it has been. A lot of ups and downs. Some of the downs were, I was hoping to get the YouTube channel a lot bigger than it was. You have to be very good looking. Here's what I've learned in YouTube. You have to be very good looking, incredibly charismatic, and really talk fast and loud. And I don't have any of those three qualities. So the writing was on the proverbial wall for me. I tried a different take for this channel. I wanted to do a couple things, and I stayed true to the channel, which was number one, to always remain unbiased. I'm proud to say that I didn't take things, sponsors. I didn't accept bottles. I did it my way, and that's the way I wanted to do it. I wanted to create a channel for people who love fragrance as much as I do, and I wanted to also emphasize the notion of really evaluating a fragrance when you're on a very strict budget, because some of you who have 300 and 400 bottles out there, I tip my cap to you. That will never be me. I really have to sit and analyze and study and sample and really be kind of a harsh critic before I buy a fragrance. Rarely in all of my years have I bought a fragrance that I just didn't like. In fact, really the only one that I didn't like at all was the one that I mentioned recently, which was the Lalique Equus, the one with the horse. Looks like this one only has a horse instead of a lion. And as I've joked, ironically, I got a lot of compliments on the one I detested. Isn't that the way it always works? As far as full-on detested, like with buyer's remorse, that's really about the only one. I want to thank all of you guys because I have survived on so many years with samples. I am not the typical I am the anti-YouTube reviewer. I am not the typical YouTuber, and one of the reasons why is I do not go out. First of all, I wasn't sponsored, like I said. Second of all, I didn't go out and buy a ton of bottles. In fact, what I've done over the years is really rely on samples. And think about this. This is touching because you probably listen to other podcasters and stuff where they talk about what's the one where you buy them a virtual beer or something. The other one is Patreon, and you have different extra content for Patreon viewers, or tip me, buy me a cup of coffee, buy me a pint of beer, whatever. I didn't do any of that at all, and yet many of you have sent in either samples or full bottles to support the channel. Who does that? In fact, if I had to tell you right now my favorite things about this channel over the 6 years, the top one would just be how touched I am by how many of you have sent in samples and bottles. Many of you, by the way, who sent them in don't even have channels, so you're not even doing it. When you first start reviewing, you realize that some reviewers are just kind of they kind of go in and kind of mark their territory a little bit. They'll leave some comments, and then they'll maybe they're just trying to get their name out, and that's fine too. There's nothing wrong with that. But many of the subscribers, of the viewers, right, for this very episode, have sent in samples and full bottles with nothing to ask in return, and I really appreciate about you. In fact, that's really the number one thing that stands out to me. I'm incredibly touched by your friendship and your hospitality and your sincerity. So I want to express my sincere gratitude to you. And I really appreciate that. Second thing is, it's been fun because, as I've said many times, is for a guy who had one bottle every year, and then either birthday or Christmas, I would go out and buy myself a new bottle, and I would just go from one till the absolute last drop. Sometimes there was even 2 or 3 months where I didn't have any, and then I just couldn't wait until I got the next one. I was so excited about it. For a guy who most of his life has had one fragrance at any given moment, to go from that to what I have now is just incredible for me, because I feel like royalty. I feel like I should be in the Wimbledon stands watching next to the king and queen. All right, I took that a little too far, but you get my point. Because I have really gone out and bought, I've kept my collection actually very low compared to you guys. But what I have, I am so happy with. In fact, that's one of the reasons why I'm stepping down now, because I just absolutely adore what I have. I don't know how it could get any better, thanks to all of your advice and input and comments, etc. So I started in 2017. I did an episode with my daughter as a pilot, because she had her channel going on at that time every week. So I decided to do one in this shirt. I got to end that way, and I did that episode, and I really enjoyed it. But that was the only one I did in 2017. And then Wes, a guy who he sent me some samples in 2018, and he just said, "Look, I just want you to review them, check them out, get the word out," and that's how it started. I traded him some fragrances. That's how it started. And then he sent me some samples, and in 2018, I started to do, my reviews. And if you ever want to, I am not gifted in that sense. It took me a lot of episodes. In fact, the first 50 or 60 episodes, I really had to edit out a lot. Now I'm able to do it with usually 1 or 2 gaffes per episode. Not too bad for somebody who just goes on the fly. I say indeed too much, and I know that. I needed to weed that out, but oh well. As far as full-on mistakes, though, pretty rare, and I really appreciate the viewers who watched me in the beginning. I stumbled quite a bit, but I was able to weed a lot of that out in post-editing. So really about the time I got into 30, 40, 50, around that point was when in 2019 I also did another series for the summer of samples, and then really around the mid-2019 on is when I really kicked it in gear, and that's when I did an episode every Friday. I know what I'm supposed to do. Again, I'm the anti-YouTube YouTuber. I know I'm supposed to put short episodes of like 5 to 7 minutes out. I also know I'm supposed to do it like every other day. But you know what? I wanted to put it out every Friday. I wanted to wish you guys, I wanted to be the episode that welcomed you into your weekend. That was important for me. I didn't always film on Fridays. It would depend. Sometimes I filmed on mostly Thursday, and then I put it up on like midnight Friday, right? So Thursday night. That was my last couple years, but sometimes I filmed on Friday, sometimes I filmed on Monday, just kind of whenever I could, and then I would schedule it for, in recent times, Thursday night, so Friday midnight, right when Friday started. That worked out the best for me. So I've really enjoyed doing these. I'm really gonna miss doing this. Actually, I'm gonna miss it incredibly. But I'm happy with going over the 100,000 view mark. I'm happy for all of your comments. I'm happy for all of your feedback, sincerity, and friendship. I keep in contact with a lot of you already, so I am super, super appreciative of that. If you really, really, really want to follow this old dude, you can go to Dr. Goo's channel, so he will be on, so he's Locked Scents, LOC''D Scents, SCENTS, of course, Locked Scents, and his channel, he does live streams. Now we switched. I used to do a live stream, and then I would have him on, and then now, starting next month, every once in a while, I'll probably appear on one of his live streams. That's the plan, at least, sometime in late August. I really appreciate what you've done for me. This is the end of the channel. I will keep the episodes open. I'm not going to close it out, but I will be no longer be doing new episodes on fragrance. I might occasionally put put a quirky video out on my dog, or another one might be, I've got a few non-fragrance related projects. I don't think that I might appear in them, but they're not a review of any type. It's nothing related to that. I might put that out on this channel in the next couple of months, since I have the YouTube channel open. That said, though, this is the final episode for That Cologne Guy. I don't know what else to say other than always remember, my friends, fragrance marks the celebration of today. Take care, everybody.